Today we're going to take a look at lesson 4.3, multiplying multi-digit numbers, right? The lesson 4.3 at the top of your math notebook, and then the I can statement is I can multiply multi-digit numbers. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to review something that many of you may have seen last year. And it looks like this. This is called the place value sections method. I'm not going to spend long on this because it's not really a method I want you to do, but you may have seen it before. You're going to see a setup like this on the top of your C-work. Please know you do not have to do it this way. I would much prefer you're actually doing it the shortcut method way. It's just the way that it shows up on the C-work for this one. So we're going to roll right through this right now. So the way this works is you split the place values between the tens and the ones. So on the left here, 50 plus 6 is 56. You'll see it's got its own row. Again, I'm not concerned if you understand this or not. And then 30 plus 4 on the top. And what you do is it's almost like a multiplication chart. You multiply these numbers, these numbers, these numbers, and you're going to see them show up. So 50 times 30, top and left. 50 times 4, again, you got the top row there and the left number. And then you're going to get all 4 of these numbers. And then what you do is you stack them all over on the side and you add them all together. If this is a method that you like, you really need to get away from this method. So I'm going to show you a transitional method called the place value rows method. So let's take a look at this one right here. So place value rows says this. I'm only going to take one of my numbers and split it this time. This is going to be fairly similar to how we'd actually handle in the shortcut method, which you'll see coming up. You'll see some parallels between these. So I'm going to just take the number on the left, which is 56, and I'm going to split that. You'll want to think about this because I'm going to have you practice one this way today. So I'm going to take 50 plus 6 and put it on the side. I'm going to put the number 34 on top. So now I'm going to take the number 50 from the side and the number 34, and I'm going to stack them inside this box. So I've got 50 times 34. Now, since I'm starting in the tens place, I don't need to multiply those two numbers by 0 because I know it's just going to give me two zeros here. So I'm going to just drop the 0 down for the 0 for the tens place in 50, and now I'm going to multiply 5 times 34. So I start with 5 times 4, that's 20. I put down the 0, carry the 2. 5 times 3 is 15, plus the 2 I carried makes 17. Now down at the bottom, I'm going to take the other number that I split out of there, the 6, and I'm going to do 6 times 34. So 6 times 4 is 24. Put the 4 down below, carry the 2. Notice I didn't put a 0 down because this is a ones place number. And then I do 6 times 3 is 18, plus the 2 is 20. I stack those two numbers on the side and add them up. 1,700 plus 204. I just go 0 plus 4 is, and then 0, and 7 plus 2 is 9, the comma, that's 1,904. All right, so here's a sample problem. I'm just going to have you try this one, all right? So you're going to take the 25 and split it into 20 and 5 over here, and then the number 17 on top. Then you're going to do at the top, you're going to do 20 times 17, and then you do 5 times 17 down here. So go ahead and pause this problem and try it. And when you're ready, come back and I'll go through it with you. All right, let's review this problem together. So as I said, we'll split 20 and 5 over there and put 17 on top. We get 17 times 20. So again, because I know it's multiple to tens place, I'm just going to put a 0 down. I'm not going to multiply 0 times 17 because I know what that's going to give me. And I'm going to move right to the tens place number. So now I'm going to do 2 times 7, which is 14. 4 carry the 1. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3. Down at the bottom down here, I'm going to set up 5 times 17. I won't be starting at 0 because this is a ones place number. So 5 times 7 is 35. 5 goes down below. We always drop the ones place. We carry the tens place. So 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8. Over here on the side, I just stack those up. 0 plus 5, 5. 8 plus 4, 12. 2 carry the 1. And then 3 plus 1 is 4. And the answer to this problem is 425. How'd you do? Again, I'm not going to make you do this method either. I just want you to be aware of it. If you're used to doing the one that came before this that I share with you, you can do this as sort of a transition one. The one I really want you to do is I want you to do the shortcut method.
Today's lesson is multiplication. Yakko?
Yes, Miss Flamille?
I want you to multiply 47 times 83.
Sounds like a song cue to me.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, yes, it does. Hit it, hurry! 7 times 3 is 21, which, as you know, is just 2 tens plus 1, and so we put the 1 right here, and we carry the 2 1 left to the top of the tens place right next door, and we put it on top of the number 4, which is really 4 tens that we multiply, times 3 in the ones place, and that's why we now have 12, which we add to the 2 that we carry to get 14. See how easy that was? Oh, it's multiplication, it's math education. Hey, Albert Einstein said that it's so easy to do. It's simple, it's breezy, it's fun and it's easy. Just buy a calculator, you can multiply too. And now the second digit. 7 times 8 is 56, which, as you know, is just 5 tens plus 6. And so we put the 6 right here in the tens place left of the 1. Carry the 5 like we did before to the top of the tens place next to the 4. Then multiply that 4 times 8 to get 32. See, isn't this great? Then we add the 5 that we carried before to get 37. Then add once more straight down to get 3,901. Isn't this swell?
Okay, we're going to take a look at the shortcut method now. So this is going to be laid out in steps. So the very first step we're going to do here is we're going to start multiplying 6 times the number 34. So the first step is to take 6 times 4, which is 24. The 4 goes down and we carry the 2 above the next digit, in this case the number in the tens place. Now we have 6 times 3 is going to be our next step. So 6 times 3 is 18, and then we carried this 2 up here, so we have to add that in. That makes 20. Now we're going to move on to our next step. Since we're done with both the ones place multiplication and this number we carried, I would just encourage you to just kind of cross those out so you don't get confused about where you're at in the problem. So I'm multiplying by 50, and this is a multiple of 10, so I have to put a 0 down here as a placeholder. If I don't, it's not a tens place number. Any number multiplied by 10 always ends in 0. That's why we put the 0 down. So now we're going to do the exact same thing, except we're going to start with the tens place and we're going to multiply these two numbers. So in our next step, we've got 5 times 4, which is 20. The 0 goes down and the 2 gets carried. Now we go to our next step here. We've got 5 times 3, which is 15, plus this 2 we carried up here at the top makes a total of 17. In the last step, we just simply have to add those two numbers at the bottom. So when I do that, I get a 4 there, a 0, a 9, and then a 1. So 1,904. Same answer we had last time. If you compare the two methods, this is the one we just did with 1,904 is the answer. The only difference between the way we got our answers here between the place value rows method and this traditional or shortcut method is that the numbers are flipped. So you'll see in this case we had 204 on the top, it's on the bottom down here. That's why this is a good segue to get into the shortcut method. Again, this is the method I want you to use. If this is the method you're comfortable with already, that's fantastic. So we're going to have you do one more sample problem in your notebook here. So you can just write sample problem 2 down, and I'm going to have you go ahead and try this problem using the shortcut method. Now you don't have to lay out all the steps that I did. I'm going to go through it step by step, but I just want to see working through this in the shortcut method. So go ahead and pause the video and try this problem, and then come back when you're ready to take a look at it. All right, so we're going to go through this one together. See how you did. So step 1, I'm going to multiply the ones place, which happens to be a 1 this time, times the ones place of the number above it. 1 times 8 is 8. There's nothing to carry, so I don't have to worry about that this time. Move to the next step. Now I do 1 times 3. 1 times 3 is 3. Again, nothing to carry. Step 3, I cross out that number that I multiplied by, and now I'm on the tens place. So I'm going to put a 0 down here as a placeholder. And if you cross this out, you can just remember, hey, I slashed that number out. I got to have 1 0 there. That might just be a way to help you think about that. So now I'm going to go to step 4, which is I'm going to multiply 7 times 8, which is 56. So I'm going to put the 6 down. I'm going to carry the 5. Step 5, I'm going to do 7 times 3, which is 21, plus the 5 I carried comes up to 26. And in step 6, I don't know why that was a lag there, but we have to add those together. And when we do that, we get 8, 9, 6, 2, or 2,698. How'd you do? All right, here are your practice problems for today. You've got 45 times 18 and 68 times 23. I would like to have you stack those and multiply them using the shortcut method. If that's tricky for you and you want to use the place value rows method to check your work, that's okay. But again, you need to become comfortable with the shortcut method because you're going to have to be able to use that in the future. And don't worry, we'll go over some of these when we do them in class, and we'll go over these practice problems as well. All right, that's it for tonight.